Welcome to Body Reconnect, where I help you to decipher the signs and signals your body sends you every day so that you can course correct and make changes in order to live your best, healthiest life. I'm certified wellness coach and lymphatic drainage therapist, Michelle Dominique, and I am going to answer a question that came up regarding one of my videos. Please like, subscribe, do all the things, and comment. If you have a question that you'd like me to answer, somebody else might have a question. So put it in the chat. I have clients wait until they come for their next appointments and say, oh yeah, about that video, I want to put it in the comment. It would help a lot. So the question is magnesium versus fiber. Magnesium versus fiber. So yes, we are back on gut health because I am going to have you regular. Yes, I am. When I say, I know it's a topic that so many people are sensitive and talking about, but my clients understand that I truly mean I want to teach you how to listen to your body, because when you bypass some of these crucial signs and signals, especially starting with gut health, a lot of things could be avoided if you are repetitively. I know viruses and everything was out all at one time this year. Bronchitis, pneumonia. I mean, clients were coming with it. They were telling me like that I can't come because this one has this and that one has that in my house. But if you are definitely somebody that's getting repeat illnesses, that's a sign of that we need to do something about your gut health. It doesn't mean that it will stop it completely, but every several years I get something that takes me down. Every several years, not every several weeks. So if you are repeating things and getting the same thing over again, that's a sign that your gut health needs to take a look at it. Okay, because remember, this is not your immune system. Okay, the hub of your immune system lies in your gut. So if you have sluggish bowels, constipation, I will define constipation again. If you are not going to the bathroom every single day, girthful, easily triggered by your signals in your brain telling your body it's time to release, that by definition is constipation. Okay, period. Right? Not the squirrely whirlies, not the pebble poop, not the you're sitting there reading, a big volume book because you need to wait. No, the brain tells your body it's time to release. You sit down, your body releases, and you move on with your life. Anything short of that, you're constipated. Okay? And we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it, because not talking about it is like skipping a whole part of your health profile. Fascinating to me that people just want to skip over it, but not when you work with me. When you work with me, that and sleep are two of the biggest things I deal with. I don't, it doesn't matter what you're coming to me for, whether you're coming to have a lymphatic session, whether you're coming to have a clinical or therapeutic session, whether you're doing emotional coaching, whether you're doing health coaching, those two come up because it shows me how you're functioning in your day to day. I know if you're not sleeping, things are short. You might not be putting all into it that you can, because you can't. And I also know if you have sluggish bowels, you're holding on to a lot of stuff. Emotionally, toxicity, as well as physical toxicity. Go check out my other video when I talk about what happens to the food that you don't release. The maggots, the flies, that whole thing that I talked about. So go and take a look at that. Anyway, let's get on with it, because I got to go to lunch before my next session. So fiber versus magnesium. Which one is best if you are trying to encourage regularity in your bowels? Okay. They're both necessary, but in different ways. So let me give you a quick explanation of that. I have worked on. We're gonna start with fiber. Let's start with fiber. Fiber is great because um, fiber is a brush. Okay, if you if you buy loose psyllium, if you take it out and you put it on a spoon like you're going to a place and you're weighing it, it almost looks like it's magnetic, like it's just moving, right? You can kind of see it. And if you put it in some water and swallow it like the old detoxes used to be, you can feel that going down. It's just not a comfortable feeling. And also, too, if anybody used to take probiotics back in the days before they came in pill form, you could literally feel movement in your mouth, right? So that's what fiber is going to do. And fiber is going to go down into your gut like a brush. It's going to sweep the gut, okay? It's going to sweep the gut. All of that stuff I talked about, that old outdated fecal matter that's festering, is going to help to sweep that out of those little crevices, because the colon is not straight. When you go to the doctor or you look at the colon and you see that picture with the big large intestine and then the little bitty, no, that is not your colon. That is just a very poor rendition. We're talking miles of what was it, like a tennis court? The size of a tennis court, all of these layers in your body. And so if you think about the size, the length of a tennis court, and you think about your gut, even the biggest gut, that's some folding. And so when you have that, the brush, the tiny bristles come in and sweep the waste out. That's where the pockets of waste get stuck. That's where the leaky gut happens, when those that fecal matter and toxic waste that should be out of the body aligns itself on the wall, and it starts weakening the walls of the gut over years. So if something passes one and it sticks, then next year something sticks, and next month something sticks, right? So that's the importance of fiber. It's that broom. It's that sweeper out of the body. That's why it's exceedingly important to have fiber every day and with every meal. And a variety of fiber. I'll talk about that in another video, but fiber in beans might hit a little different than fiber in green leafy vegetables. If you're doing green leafy vegetables every day, a salad, change up the greens in the salad. Dandelion is going to hit different than romaine, right? Arugula is going to hit different than butterleaf, okay? Then fruit. Don't forget the fruit. Fruit is a complex carbohydrate. Don't talk to me about sugar. It also has tons of polyphenol, because unlike green leafy vegetables, fruit has color. There's a purpose for the color. There's a purpose for the color. You can't get that anywhere else, okay? So anyway, I'll make another video about that, but the fiber is very, very important. Also, when you look at eliminating xenoestrogens, especially in young men, because everything is estrogen, not, all the products are estrogen based. So looking to get that estrogen out, the xenoestrogen, look that up, XENO. I did a video about that a long time ago. I'll circle back and do it again. But you want to get that out of the body. You're hearing a lot about microplastics, okay? How do you think that stuff gets out? That's where fiber, that is the number one job of fiber, to go in there think of a baby brush in a bottle, and you swirling it around because you want to get all the crevices. That's what fiber does for your gut lining. And that's why it's critical, and that's why it's non-negotiable, and that's why you need to have it. You and your kids, especially kids, because all of their diet is high carbohydrate, high processed, and usually brown or cheese, which is the antithesis of fiber, right? Cheese sits and it clogs and it, yeah, yeah. So pizza, cheese sticks, the Lunchables, everything that's geared toward them is brown, no fiber, and cheese, which doesn't move well in the average gut. Okay? So we talked about the purpose of fiber. Now, let's go to magnesium. The fiber could be doing all of that. Your fiber game could be good and you're sweeping stuff up and you're like, Michelle, I got that and it's still not working. Okay, it's not that the fiber isn't working, but you can't. We always want to compartmentalize. When I work with clients on emotional coaching, if you have not, by the way, signed up or scheduled your absolutely free wellness consultation or signed up for my community to talk about how things like the emotional tie between constipation and emotions, you're going to want to do that, or chronic pain or autoimmune situations that you may have. I can help you put the pieces together. The body really does keep score. If you've not read that book, I recommend it. The body really does keep score. I had an amazing session with a client this past weekend. It was so amazing that I got some stuff, I got some clearing out of it, because the body doesn't segment or compartmentalize like we think it does. If it's affecting your emotions, it's affecting your gut. Everything is connected. Okay, so where magnesium comes in, magnesium is highly recommended as it powers over 350 functions of your body. I'm going to let that sit in. 300, over some estimates 500, but over 350 functions in your body rely on the level of magnesium in your body. One is the prolapse valve. So if you're having prolapse valve issues, check your magnesium level. Here's something that's very interesting for women over 30, especially those who have given birth. We don't store magnesium. And I do mean we. We don't store magnesium. In this morning, out tonight. Like, it is gone. It is gone. We tend to that childbirthing thing, which is why Mother's Day should be twice a year, not once. Eats our capacity. Not even when you're pregnant, but afterwards. Women tend to lose we don't hold it. It's in and out. So you have to replenish it every day. Now let's talk about what magnesium does. I have before, but we're going to do it again. One of the biggest things that magnesium helps with is to help ease stress and tension from the body. Stress and tension. That's where muscles come in. Okay? So that constant fight or flight, magnesium helps to ease, tell the body, the brain tells the body when it gets this feel of magnesium, let go. That fight or flight breathing and you're not being chased by a lion, a tiger, a bear, oh my. Magnesium helps with that. Magnesium helps to put your body at ease. Here's what happens when your body is at ease. When your body is at ease, your muscles function better. When your muscles are tight and restricted, like you're being chased by a lion, tiger, or bear, that's what fight or flight is, blood does not flow to those areas. Blood doesn't flow to the extremities. Digestion isn't happening in the gut because you're being chased by a lion, fight or flight, okay? But when you are properly supplemented with magnesium, it helps to ease the body. It's like magnesium is your natural massage. Magnesium and breathing are the first steps, okay, to releasing your body. Then you come and see me. That's helpful. But here's what happens. Interestingly enough, I always tell you, healthy isn't, don't look at somebody and think they're healthy, because you look at somebody and they have these six-pack abs right here. Some of the worst, some of the most challenging clients I had with constipation had these abs, had these tight, cut abs. Here's the problem with that. So you got your fiber in, you're doing your fiber thing, and you're doing good, right? You see these muscles right here, okay? Your obliques, we've heard of obliques. Your lats, your wings coming down the back, okay? And right back here, you have posterior abdominal muscles. So they go all the way to the back. You see where this is cut back here, right? So all of these are stomach muscles. Stomach muscles and internal organs, guts, are not the same. They're in the same place, but they're not the same. So when you are working to get these rock hard abs, back here, you see this is the ab pulled away. This is all soft tissue. You don't have a developed colon. Your colon is not trying to be buffed. Your colon needs to be supple, needs to be able to move. So when you have this super tight, these lats super tight, these posterior abdominal muscles super tight, guess what? The colon can't do its job even with the fiber because it's so constricted. Most of the people who look like this are minimal when it comes to, I'm not going to say stretching because that's not even a thing. You stretch before a workout and that's great, but releasing the muscle. There's a difference between releasing the muscle and stretching. Releasing the muscle, think yoga, okay? Stretching, think warm up. Okay, so I have worked with a lot of people, trying to work when I did colonics, trying to work with people who were, just having, they look fit at like they could be in a photo shoot right now for an underwear, model or some kind of thing. Fit, cut, men and women, cut. And then they're on the colonic table because they haven't gone to the bathroom in a month and can't figure out why. Taking the protein powders and the fiber powders and all of that stuff, but it wasn't conducive. The muscles were so taut because to build muscle, you have to shrink it. That's how you get the definition. And if you're not opening up at some point between your sessions, you're affecting what's underneath. So if you think like, I want to say slinky, but y'all probably don't even know what that is. Dating myself. How the slinky just kind of goes down the wall, or that slime stuff that you throw on the wall and you kind of watch it go down. That is how the colon works. Okay, the colon ain't about all this business. The colon ain't trying to be buffed, and because it has to stay supple and it has to move. So that is why magnesium becomes important. Even if you have the fiber working, doing the sweeping, la la la, la la la. If the colon is just rigid, you're not gonna get the effectiveness out of that. So for colon health, for elimination and regularity, to alleviate sluggish bowels and get your gut at its optimum level, you need magnesium as well as fiber. They are the dynamic duo. And of course, don't forget to throw in hydration. I did a whole video about that. So let's make it 3. the three musketeers: hydration, magnesium, and fiber. So I am going to end this video. I promise I'm going to do this today. I always talk about a link, but there will be a link there today with my pro tip for magnesium that's clean, for hydration that's clean, and for fiber that's clean, because that's very important. Just because you buy it out of a gym store does not mean it's clean. And in this day and age, with microplastics and heavy metals and chemtrail and all of the stuff, you want to try to be as clean as you can. You want to at least try. Also, too, the cool part about everything that I list below, it can be used by kids. Don't leave your children behind in your quest to be healthy. Don't leave your children behind. Children's diets are the absolute worst. What's marketed to them, their food choices, are the absolute worst. It's necessary for many parents. I'm not judging, because convenience is what it is. I had one kid and still needed convenience. But everything I list below can be used by your entire family. If you have somebody who you're caregiving for, an elder, or someone who is not extremely mobile, I did a video about the importance of having bowel function to receive medicine, right? If you're still in pain, maybe it's because your medicine is getting caught up in this blocked up gut. Anyway, I got to go, because I said I got to go to lunch and I'm really hungry. But like, comment, and whatever else you do, share. Put this video on your page. Half the people that you're working with, I don't care how they're rocking on the outside, they might be rotten in the inside. So be sure to share this, especially if you want to see more of this content. Once again, I'm Michelle Dominique, reminding you, you deserve to live your best, healthiest life, and it is my privilege and honor to help you do that. But I can't do it until you reach out to schedule your free wellness consultation or join my wellness community today.